regular village council meeting will now come to order February 23rd. We'll all rise for the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our treasurer is acting as our clerk tonight and to do the recording tonight.
Stewart.
Here.
Audie.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Cohen.
Here.
Cooper.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
And Moore.
Yes, here. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported, discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. There's no citizens in the audience at this time, so we will move on. There's no presentations at this time. And now next we have the administrative reports. Mr. Stewart, do you have some comments?
Not related necessarily to the report. I did spend probably 3 hours with F&B today. I will bring you an update at the next meeting or the meeting after that. We're still trying to finalize this grease problem that occurred. And as you can see, the maintenance cap is dwindling down, partially due to these Trojan items that were purchased June 28th of last year. I did talk with council already about it. I did tell them today that it might be best to bill us for that part, bring our maintenance cap back up to where it needs to be at this time of the year, so that we can still spend money. You know, when you have things happen, such as the back service for $1,500, and we weren't expecting it for another month or two, or yes, we will bill some of that back, but it throws you out of whack a little bit. I don't think anything has been done out of the ordinary in the maintenance cap that wouldn't, be a normal item. It's just last year's we got pushed into the negative because of the transaction at the end of the year.
Mike, I got a question.
Yes.
They had an alarm call out on the boiler. Is that something that has to be fixed, or they repaired it or something? You said the water in the boiler set off the alarm.
Yeah, I did read it. I don't know.
Okay,
Anything
I'm just
else
curious
about
if they had to have repair work done, or if it was just a matter of...
They did not tell me there was any additional
Okay.
repair work. When I asked them how things were at the plant today, there were no problems. So I would assume that would be on their radar. They would have brought it up, but I can follow up for you.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I did also talk to them years ago, back in '09. I've gone through a lot of my old paperwork. I was telling Joe this earlier. And we did like a thing called a action plan, where you would label what's wrong, who was in charge, priority, when it was going to be completed. Just a checklist, if you will, take ownership. And we talked about putting that into place again so that we know, okay, the boiler needs repair work. Brian's in charge of it. He expects it to be done in a couple weeks. We're going to go back to that system because sometimes it's hard when they tell you or me, or if they tell somebody else everything's fine, or this was get or fix this, and then I might forget about it. So we're going to put that back into place.
Okay.
That will help, and I asked for that to be included in the monthly report. Once we get that up and running, we gave it about a month time frame to put it into place. But there's a lot going to happen, and we need to make sure that things are getting done. But I will follow up with you, Stephen. Does anybody else care to know about that? I'm just going to send Steve an email so I don't forget.
I'm not on email right now.
Oh, you're not? Okay, I'll leave you a note
I'm
in your
like Barb,
box.
smoke signals.
Did you find out anything more on that generator from Steve
Just
Drzezinski?
feel vibes.
No, I did not. I have not heard from
Okay.
Steve.
All
Did
right.
he?
Oh, he was in this afternoon. I didn't think to ask him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was gonna give us a phone number or something.
Yeah, he was gonna get Mike the phone number and the contact
I'm gonna
name.
leave a note, and if I'm not working tomorrow, then I'll stop in at the fire station and talk to him. He has not emailed me, I know that.
Okay, all right.
So I have 2 follow-ups.
Okay, do you have anything to report, Joe? No.
You all have a copy of your
All I
treasurer's
have a
report?
copy is right, so. Planning Commission minutes, you have that in your packet.
I got one other thing to add though. Just as a note, because it's something we're all interested in, right now, they're planning or they're shooting, I think, at the IGA open by Memorial Day.
Nice.
No, that's not down in granite or anything, but that's what they're shooting for.
You know, I went to Elmont today, and I hit the store in Elmont.
Figures.
That's actually very interesting. I've never been there before. It was nice, a nice little.
They're working
It'll be a
very
great
hard
addition.
on the one here, they're working.
Are they good?
Do you know what, is that what you're getting?
No, that's what we're here, and he was in our place getting some stuff. And that day, they were putting epoxy on the floor, painting it and stuff, so they're moving along.
And also that, it appears that change we're looking at making to our ordinance concerning the selling of alcohol, you know, that 1,000-foot requirement for another establishment selling or a church or school, that would also affect their opening if we didn't improve that, because they've been shut down for so long that.
It won't affect their opening, but it would affect whether they could sell.
Right, it would affect their selling, excuse me, right. So it's good that we gave the planning commission the go-ahead on that.
So more than one business can utilize that adjustment. Good.
Okay. The general business consent agenda.
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
I'll second.
Any supported discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The old business tonight, new business, the 2015 Miano Bridge inspection.
Thank you, Mr. President, that's my
Yes.
deal.
I think that word is biannual.
Yeah,
Fine.
I was trying to make it out into a word
Looks
last
like
week.
it's
Everyone
inspection.
got it wrong last week, yeah.
this is our annual
Inspection.
bridge inspection, and we have a quote here from World Professional Services in the amount of $1,500 and this is for the bridges that we have, and the letter that I received from him says that he will perform 2015 bridge inspection of West Main Street, North Fulton, and Birch Street, a fee for $500 per bridge, for a total of $1,500, including this bridge inspection and documentation, cross-section if required. Stream cross sections are required at every 2 inspection cycles for most bridges, and this is every 4 years. Prospect Street Bridge is open to traffic. The bridge inspection is included in our construction contract. So what he's going to do is he's going to do these 3 at $500 apiece, and the other one is already going to be inspected in their construction contract of the bridge.
West Main, North Fulton, and
Birch Street,
Burke.
West Main.
North Fulton and Burke, and it'll also include the Prospect Street Bridge. Okay, now the one up on Keith Street is not considered a bridge, it's considered a culvert, so we'll have to have that one inspected. So,
Now, in the Center Road, that's not ours?
That's not ours, that's a
That's
county.
not ours,
County.
That's a count.
Well, that one's the county?
yeah,
Oh, center.
yeah, so, okay, just.
What about the one-
Just easy.
Okay, I'm on the wrong road. What about Ridge going out of town? Is that ours?
That's
West Main.
Yeah, West Main,
Okay.
okay. But
But
that
there's
is,
another one in West.
Wait,
Main.
right, there's 2 of them.
no, that's
The
culvert.
one,
That's
one's a
the culvert
culvert,
out
one out by the, there's a
Oh,
moving
Oh,
culvert.
nursing home's a
Lutheran church there.
culvert.
Yeah.
That's the one I was asking about, because boy, that one's in bad shape.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm resolved to approve the bridge inspection quote from Rural Professional Services Company in the amount not to exceed $1,500 and allow the street administrator to sign on the village's behalf.
Support.
Moved and supported, any further discussion? If
Yeah.
not,
I do have
Oh,
a
okay,
question
good.
that's really
Go
what
ahead, Dave.
Mike generated there. Now, are they gonna do something are they gonna also check the culvert?
No, they don't do culverts.
They don't do that, so that
No,
won't be.
nobody checks culverts.
Okay.
probably someday that's gonna have to be replaced or something anyhow,
Yeah.
so. Because I think they're not,
The one out by the nursing home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it runs into the property of this Lutheran church.
Yeah, but I believe that, I don't know if that's within our jurisdiction or if that's within the county's jurisdiction. I'm not sure.
I think
But
it's
also
ours.
it might-
I think it's ours too.
It might be tied into the West Main project that we'll be doing in 2018 now, maybe?
Yeah, because we're
So
collecting
we gotta
taxes
get it
on
done.
your brother's house there,
My cousin.
or your cousin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd make sure that it's noted that we're gonna look
Yeah,
at that
lots
that
of
project.
lots
with
of-
Well, I'm
the
sure it's gonna be
West
part of it, because if they survey it, they're gonna see.
Somebody might forget.
Yeah.
Okay. So, moved and supported, we've got the motions already, right?
Moved by Ballard, support by who?
Clark.
Clark. No discussion? Yeah, Dave had it.
Right.
So,
It's a roll call.
all in favor?
And it's a roll call because it's
Roll
money.
Oh, right, that's right. We are spending money. Roll call, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Hooper,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes?
Conan,
Yes.
and Moore.
Yeah. Motion carried. Contract agreement between the Village of Armada and the Michigan Natural Features and Inventory at MSU.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is, as discussed at the recent council meeting, the village has received a contract agreement from Michigan State University to perform the study of the slippery shell mussel. The proposed cost of this study is $2,400, and the proposed cost to relocate, if necessary, is $600. We talked about this at our prior meeting. So that being said, I resolve to approve the contract between the Village of Armada and Michigan Natural Features Inventory at Michigan State University to perform a survey for slippery shell freshwater mussel for a cost not to exceed $2,400, to relocate if necessary for a cost not to exceed $600, and to allow the street administrator to sign on the village's behalf.
Support. Support by Clark. Discussion.
I have a quick question. On here, it says that they're gonna be expecting to do it on the first or second week of June. Does that put us behind at all?
No.
That is on our timeline? Okay.
And yeah, I have a question too. This cost is all on us. It's not a part, it's
Correct.
not rolled into the cost of the project.
No, it's all on us.
Okay.
Does Dave and I need to abstain because of our loyalty to Michigan State?
Yeah.
Not everybody. Little joke.
Okay, you have a motion and a support.
Yeah.
Cooper,
Yes?
Clark,
Yes?
Stewart,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
and Moore.
Yeah. Motion carried. East Main Project, utility pole relocation, Lyle.
Thank you. No kidding, we're having a meeting tonight. We received a letter from Roe and Alex, and this was to inform us that we have to have some light poles relocated for our East Main Street project. And I got a hold of Dan Wakefield from DTE Energy, and he sent this back to Michelle, and it says, I've completed the cost estimate for the relocation of the streetlight poles. There's 5 of them in the city of Armada, as requested to be relocated. The cost to relocate is $2,920.83, and he'll be sending us a contract through the mail. And he talked with me, and he requested that I requested the cost for our meeting tonight. So he sent me this email in advance of giving us the contract. And the reason he sent us this email is because he is going to be on vacation, returning on Monday the 2nd. So anyway, so what I would like to do tonight is I would like to offer this motion so that when we get the contract, we can just go ahead and sign it and be over with. And so to resolve, the Village of Armada enter an agreement, enter into a contract with Detroit DTE Energy to relocate 5 streetlight poles on East Main Street in advance of the East Main Street reconstruction project. Cost not to exceed $2,920.83, and allow the village clerk and the street administrator to sign on behalf of the village.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions?
You have 6 listed, but now you're saying
I was gonna
5.
say the same
Okay,
thing.
they said we had 6, but the north side of East Main Street at the Easterly Fairgrounds entrance, he says that's got their primary line on it, so that's their pole. So that's why it would charge us for 5.
So is someone gonna go to the fairgrounds and tell them that they need to move that pole?
No, that's Edison's pole, they'll do with that.
Oh,
as
that's
they see-
Edison's
yeah.
pole. Oh, I thought you meant it was,
Our pole.
Right.
Oh.
Well, we got the north pole, the northeast.
So, the pole I have a question about is in front of the Methodist parsonage. Is that how I word it properly?
Yes, East Main and across from Pearl Street there, yes.
West, not on the north,
You're talking about the south corner?
yeah, southwest corner of
Of
Crawl and East Main.
That's not an Edison pole.
Whose
That-
is it?
That is
That's a telephone
Bell
pole.
telephone.
Can we have them relocate that?
Well, if you wanna pay for it, because it's their property,
and it's not in the way of the project, it's
it's
not
not the
listed
way of
on
the
here.
project, and I've contacted them several times on that pole, because it's
Weren't they
leaning
here
its
during
back.
the construction meeting when,
No, AT&T was not here.
So all that on there is AT&T?
well, I
That
thought they
and
were
the,
attached to Edison's pole,
no, that's an AT&T pole right there.
their own pole. No, they
Yep.
weren't, okay.
Because the problem is that it creates another pole as a counterweight, because that pole's falling over.
It creates another pole. as
So they have one pole here and another pole here, and there's a big metal rod going to this pole to keep it from falling over.
Mhm.
So it makes sense that while you're doing a project, you would fix this whole situation,
Well-
because something's not right.
What really makes sense, I'd like to extend all the lights down Main Street like we have on downtown, but we can't afford that. Now, because it's an AT&T pole,
What does it have to do with the pole?
well, because it's AT&T's pole, we're not gonna tell them what they're gonna do with it. Okay,
That stuff would be underground besides.
Well, if we don't
If it's
tell
like
them to
downtown.
move it, and it's one of them that's identified that needs to be moved, how is it getting moved?
it's not identified to be moved.
Oh, I thought it was the
No,
6th
everything
one.
is on the
No.
north side of the
Okay.
street that has to be moved.
Okay.
Is that because things are shifting?
Shifting over a little bit,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, so then that one needs to be moved.
Do those property owners know that they're gonna have a pole that's closer to their house?
It's in the right of way.
It's still gonna be at the road right away, it's not on
Correct.
their side of the sidewalk.
Okay.
The only
so
thing they're
it's-
losing in front of their house is that gravel
The gravel's gonna
road,
be gone?
edge of the road,
Strip.
yeah,
Is it gonna be curb,
yes,
Supposed to be
On that side.
yes,
all curb? On both sides or just one side?
both
both
sides.
sides.
Okay.
Thought you said that it was gonna be on one side and one area.
Parking
How
will
far
be on
down
one
is it
side,
being-
road-
Nobody
curbs will be
knows.
on both sides.
Yeah, curbs will be on both sides, but then there's gonna be,
Parking
far
is only
down?
on one
Yeah.
to Mahaffey's house.
There's gonna be what? I'm sorry.
Parking on the north side from Main Street down to Mahaffey's house,
Which one's mine?
next to me.
right next to
Okay.
us.
And the others, there will be no parking on the south side, but there will be curb on each side.
So at the corner of Madison and East Main, there will be no parking?
No parking. So your visibility getting in and out of the
Okay,
Street.
subdivision will be better.
yeah, thank God.
Is there like a general rough drawing of what's gonna be happening here? Because I know when we did,
Explicit drawing.
I don't want explicit, I personally don't, but when we did Holweg, we didn't realize they were putting swales or whatever those ditches are called by an engineer,
Yeah.
and we got burned by that. It would be nice if we had a general idea where, okay, here's the curb, and here's a no curb, and here's where we're shifting over, just, and I don't wanna know where every tree is, but it
No,
might be
Just a
nice.
No
visual.
poofy things?
Shh,
Wait.
no poofy things, yeah. I
The
just
police
wanna
chief knows
know,
what they are.
it would be nice to have a general drawing so that when residents ask us, we're supposed to communicate to the residents,
There will be when
this
we,
is what's happening.
when we get the finalized plans.
I think HRC's plans are very, very easy to read, very clear. There should be a whole set of them in here.
There's a set, but they're not the
But
big
there's like,
plans
you know,
that we can see.
they're the overlay of plans. So one includes water, sewer, one includes the electrical. The street layout, I think, is a very clear one and very concise.
So they're here, I can come and look at
They
them?
should, yeah, they should
Sure.
have
Some
here.
right there in my box, so you look at it.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on this All in favor? No, we have to have roll call on this. But only $100.
Ballard,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes,
Clark,
Yes.
Surratt,
Yes.
Aye,
Yes.
and Wallach.
Yes,
Thank you.
motion carried. MML property pool and liability insurance renewal. We have a motion prepared here for us.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to approve the MML liability and property pool renewal for 2015, 2016 term for a cost not to exceed $36,930.
I'll second.
Moved and supported. Discussion? If not, we're spending money, so this is roll call too.
Aye,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes,
Surratt,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Wallach.
Yes,
Carried.
motion carried.
Should look at that one page that Michelle's got in there. Tells you what that insurance increase, it's not just for the lawsuit.
we're gonna look at that once we get an itemized review as to where the money's gonna come out of.
How the breakouts are,
Correct.
and that's what I told you in the budget workshop too, that's part of what I'm waiting on, so that we can break things out and we'll know exactly which funds and which departments get any increases or any adjustments.
Okay. Up and coming agenda items. Any?
An update on the negotiation committee?
Haven't met yet.
Okay. We only have 1 month to tie those up, right?
Right. A couple of us have been busy, so. Harry's talked to us about it, so
Yeah, I asked Michelle a couple times.
he's ready, so. He has to talk to Steve and I to get the meeting on that, so. Okay. Citizen, yeah.
Mr. President, I made some calls about roads for us. Called the Macomb County Road Commission, I talked to Bob Hoffner, and he has given me the name of a company that the county uses when they do their micro sealing. I guess they call it micro seal now instead of chip seal. I guess it's more vogue, I don't know. But, and I also have a call into the St. Clair County Road Commission to find out who they use for that. And I've called Helm Electric, the guys that put our lights in downtown, for us to get an idea of what it's gonna cost us to expand the lighting, same type of poles that we have downtown, all the way down East Main Street and out West Main Street, and how that can be done. I just wanna get some budgetary items for the future. I've got my own idea, but I wanna go to the guys that did ours prior to. With the council's blessing, I will continue on some of those prices. I also have, looking up, the man, I believe he's in Elmont, that does this hot patch pothole repair. I think he's out of Elmont or Elma or someplace like that. I want to get some prices on from him, so that if we get into the new subdivision down there where we're getting some cracking and things like that, if you can come in and just knock that right out of there and put a good patch right across that thing where it's sealing, and see if he can come up with some idea to stop those cracks. I see we've got some cracks in there about that wide right now that are, you know, substantial. But then in the summertime, when the water goes away, it, you know, everything goes back together primarily. But I still want to get that done, so I'll be talking with some of these guys on that too.
Very good.
Now, you talked to Bob Hoffner regarding products that they use for what?
What they call micro seal.
Micro.
Yeah, it's the old chip sealing, but they call it micro seal
Crack
now.
seal is what we were calling.
No, crack seal is different.
It's
Crack actually
different?
go down in the crack. This is where they take the entire surface of the road and they spray down the seal and they put stone or something in it. And it's a very thin sealer that they put right over the top of the road that stops a lot of this, takes a lot of the humps and bumps out of it and things like that.
So it makes it a smooth road.
Makes it a smoother road, yeah.
They did North Ave that way.
Yeah, he
Years
wasn't,
ago.
yeah, he wasn't too satisfied with North Avenue, but like I said, you're not gonna be traveling down, our roads 50 and 60 miles an hour, at least you shouldn't be.
Yes, they do. They're in front of my house.
Yeah.
Madison,
They're not going in front of your house too much more like that. At least they're
Tired.
Not this summer, anyway.
pretty rough on their
Yeah,
car.
right now.
Well, the closest one too that I know is they did Riley Center Road,
Yes,
short time ago, so.
yeah, and so but I think the St. Clair County Road Commission did that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay, but that's what I'm gonna find out.
Lyle,
I know I saw their trucks there anyhow.
on part of Holweg, it's starting to show signs too, but
Yep.
after, it might have been within the first year, I was just driving out there, you could see where they tore up part of Holweg, you know,
Yeah.
like maybe a 1 by 5 foot
Mhm.
piece, where it didn't go well on the first laydown. And that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Well, that would be like the hot patch seal that I'd like to check in. Okay,
Yeah.
like for instance.
So I'm just saying, I wonder who did that, because we didn't do it, it was part
I
of the
don't-
package of
I
the
don't know.
Holweg
I
project.
can't tell you. But I know that if you get, for instance, a lot of the places where our guys, you have your roadway like this, and they've got to dig out for a water or sewer main
Oh, right.
like this. Our guys come in and they patch with cold patch or whatever, sometimes put some hot patch in it. We brought these guys in, they would actually go in and they'd cut this out. Then they'd come in and they'd seal it, and they'd put it with a hot patch right on top of it and feather it out. And that gives it a much better seal. All right, so I'm gonna investigate that, see what it's gonna cost us for that, maybe we can budget some of that, not this coming year's budget, but next year's budget.
Well, I got a question for you.
Yes.
On any future streetlights, do you envision going LED versus,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, anything to knock down that electric bill?
Well, not only that, but there's funds available, from,
Upgrading funds.
I'm sorry?
They're upgrading funds.
Yeah, upgrading funds or green funds, things like this, that are available if you do that. And you can also change the ones we have over to LED also, and which minimal cost.
Okay, that takes care of the council comment.
oh, actually, I have another council comment.
I don't have
Did
any
we,
more room to write.
okay, well, this will be a small one.
Sherry talk,
Um,
Terry talk.
did we hear anything more about how the township decided to do with their Knox boxes for their businesses? Because we were gonna wait to hear what
Oh, yeah.
the township was gonna do on it. Wanna let everyone know, I don't know if you know, but the pharmacy had an incident that happened, and they could have really used a Knox box, and it would have done a whole lot less damage in their building. So I think, based on that recent episode, I think that businesses in town would be a whole lot more receptive to the actual Knox boxes.
They couldn't get in or something?
They couldn't get in, and the
They had to
homeowner,
wait for the owner to get there.
and there was
Yeah.
water gushing from one of the upstairs apartments
Oh,
into the
The
pharmacy.
state police wanted to kick the door in.
Correct, but the owner got there but if they had a Knox box, it would have had a whole lot less damage.
The chief came in today and got some pamphlets of what he gave us, the extras,
Mhm.
and so he's going to distribute something.
Okay, because I thought they were supposed to let us know, or someone was supposed to let us know what the township decided to do for their businesses.
You know, I've
I
been
didn't hear-
noticing it since the presentation by the chief and Dennis Lemieux, and we seem to visit a lot of Macomb Township businesses in the last 2 weeks, my family and I. And I know, you can see the knock boxes at all the restaurants we've visited and the businesses, all the new buildings, they have them right there. And it was nice to explain to my son what they are, but I can see, Dennis is probably right, any new business, even CVS had one, which we talked about a pharmacy and what would they do in that situation. I'm sure they could ask CVS, how do you handle it?
Right.
But they are down there. I mean, in some of the buildings, it seemed like they had one knock box for like 3 businesses maybe. Maybe they can put more than one key in there. I don't know how that works. Because it was on the pillars holding up the main structure. But they are out there.
And it looks neat too, doesn't it?
You barely noticed it. If you didn't know what you were
If
looking
you didn't want
for,
to be looking for it, yeah.
my son did say, what happens if somebody breaks into it or something like that? And I said, well, it's very hard to break into it. But if it's going to happen in Armada, that would have already happened in Macomb Township. You know, people are not getting access, thieves are not getting access to the knock box in Macomb Township. It's not going to happen in Armada. At least you would hope it would.
I know when they went around Macomb Township, it was more or less a demand. So
Yeah.
Well, if it's in the fire code.
Firefighters, yeah.
Should we take action at the next meeting and just go ahead anyway without the township, regardless of what they're doing?
Well, he's already presented.
We already made a motion at the last meeting, I
Yeah.
believe it was to go ahead with the Knox
Yes,
boxes.
right, we
But the
did.
township was they were supposed to let us know what happened at their meeting.
And the reason for that is to see if we can, kind
Yeah.
of pool it together.
Yeah, maybe-
Well, Dennis being on the township and that being the township fire department, I would think they would be.
I think Dave also raised concern about if we require it and then the first business outside of the village doesn't require it, that doesn't look good. I think you brought that up, Dave.
Actually, the motion was to have the attorney prepare an ordinance to adopt it, to include the Knox
Right.
box. So we're just waiting for Jeff. Yeah.
He'll be here at our next meeting. Any further council comments? Community events? There's no closed session tonight, so
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:33.
we're in order.
Sport.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.